Welcome into the Saints Insider Podcast. Today is Wednesday, September the 3rd. I'm Zach Ewing with Rod Walker, Luke Johnson, and Matthew Paris, our Saints coverage team, at least the good three-quarters of our Saints coverage team for the Times-Picayune Advocate.
Boo, Jeff Duncan.
Jeff
Boo,
Duncan's
this
not
man.
here, yeah. Which will make a lot of you happy, probably. But no, we missed Jeff. We have a jam-packed show for you today. We're going to talk a little bit about the surprising decision to cut JT Gray that the Saints made this week. We're going to talk team captains. We're going to launch into a bunch of over-unders that I made arbitrarily and kind of let those suffice as our final season predictions. And then we're going to go into our Super Bowl predictions. Then that will leave Friday's show for a Saints-Cardinals preview. So that's where we're at. We're finally at game week, guys. And I know we have this conversation every year, but it is just a great feeling to be done with the grind of camp and the preseason.
Yes.
It's over.
Yes.
I feel like Tim Robbins in Shawshank.
Like five weeks from now, then I'm going to be like, I'm exhausted. Dude, yeah, no, I'm pumped, man. Like I cannot wait for tomorrow, because then we're going to have pro football on Thursday, pro football on Friday, college football on Saturday, pro football on Sunday, pro football on Monday. We're talking 5 straight days.
And gold end
stuff.
zones.
In gold end zones, that's right.
And gold jerseys.
Yeah. I don't know how we all feel about that.
That makes Rod excited.
But as far as game day goes, there are a couple of updates. We'll start there. Saints cut JT Gray. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but as you're making your 53-man projections, Matt, like JT Gray's a guy you just write in and pen. Like he's always going to make it. He did make it. And then a week later, the Saints cut him. So what do we think happened there?
Yeah, I think I'm willing to give the Saints the benefit of the doubt on this. Now, the reason given I thought was a little confusing. Kellen Moore said that they wanted roster flexibility, and then they signed Jake Haener to fill Gray's spot, which you're making a third quarterback inactive as the emergency quarterback. So, I don't necessarily understand that part. I sure will ask Kellen Moore about it today. I'm interested to see what he says. But, JT Gray didn't play defense, really. I mean, he was just a core special teams guy. And while it's important to have one of those guys, this is Kellen Moore's first year. He has a large say over the roster. He gets to do it how he sees fit. I think it is a little bit of a loss from like a character standpoint. We saw Alvin Kamara's WTF tweet. Tyrann Mathieu, who no longer plays with the Saints, was pretty outspoken about it too. And so I do think maybe there's some repairing to be done there. But, eventually he's not going to play forever. And he signed today with the Ravens on their practice squad. Didn't get a 53-man roster spot. So, it's a defensible move, even if it was a little confusing.
I think one of the best explanations I saw came from a former Saints linebacker, Scott Shanley, where these new special teams rules kind of they lessen the importance of having that kind of special teams ace on your team, especially with the kickoff team, which JT Gray was a core special teamer. But the main thing that you had him on your roster to do was coverage on kickoffs and punts, and like half of that is lessened because you're only having guys run 40 yards down the field to cover kickoffs. And a lot of teams are not even having their guys cover. Obviously the guys are covering kickoffs, but they're instructed to just boot it through the end zone, which we'll see that change this year with the new kickoff rules. But I do think that plays a part in this. The need for having a guy who is like your ace coverage guy on special teams is lessened now with these new rules.
Yeah,
I'm less surprised. I mean, Rod, I want to let you have your piece too, but I'm less surprised at them cutting Gray. Okay, fine, special teamer. I'm more surprised at what they did with the spot and giving it to Haener. But go ahead.
No, yeah, I agree with you on that. I mean, I wasn't expecting that. But I do think, like Luke and Matt were saying, I think that position is going to be devalued in the league. That's probably the way we're going right now. He just happened to be, such a big name in that. But he wasn't really helping at all on defense. And that's if you're going to be a special teams guy, you better also be able to do something else right now.
He played 153 defensive snaps in his entire career with the Saints.
In 7 years, so that's...
Yeah, and he was, like you said, popular guy, team captain, made all-pro teams as a special teamer, like got Bill Belichick love several times. I mean, Belichick loves his special teamers, like all that kind of stuff. You kind of get, okay, he's not the most valuable player, fine. But why did you need to do it in order to give Jake Haener? I don't think people are beating down the door to claim Jake Haener off the practice squad.
Jeff Nowak at the team radio station, he brought this point up, and I thought it was a good one, was that the way that the NFL's emergency quarterback rules work, you get a third one inactive, where it's like the emergency if the two get hurt. But you can only do that if he's on the 53-man roster. You can't do a practice squad elevation. You could still have him active, but then you can't manipulate the math like you can with a normal third-string quarterback. And so I think it gives the Saints a little bit of flexibility on their game day in case Rattler and Shuck both go down. But then you're just asking, what's the bigger value? A core special teams guy who contributes in that area, or, oh my God, we need to prepare for a third-string quarterback? That's what I don't necessarily get is, why did they view that as more valuable than
the 1% chance that both guys get hurt and are out of a game? And even then, you're putting in a guy who is statistically the worst quarterback in the NFL last year.
I think this. I don't think I'm going to necessarily look at this as a 1-for-1, just because Kellen Moore was so adamant that the roster changes a lot in the first couple of weeks of the season. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt on this one, because on the face of it, it makes no sense to me. Even if JT Gray is only playing one role as a punt team gunner, he's exceptionally valuable in that role. Whereas, having the idea of a third quarterback be available, he's only going to be available if the first two get hurt, and in that situation, you're probably going to lose the game anyways. So I think that if you're just looking at this as a 1-to-1 trade, essentially, Haener for JT Gray, it doesn't make any sense, but it does. I am going to give the benefit of the doubt that maybe there's other stuff they have planned to give them more flexibility on the roster.
And JT he has added some other value other than, we talked about the kickoff rules, but he's blocked a field goal or a punt or something in his career. He's recovered
two block kicks and 3 fumble recoveries.
Yes,
in special teams.
he's
and that's official block kicks. That's not it blocks it he deflected and made it a yard or two past the line of scrimmage. I think he had a couple more of those. And beyond that, just the locker room value.
Yeah.
Obviously popular figure in the locker room, somebody who's been here a long time. That was legitimately I don't think he was just talking to us saying it was a really hard choice. I think it was legitimately a hard choice to release that guy, because they are trying to foster that positive vibes within the locker room.
Yeah, and we got a lot to get to, so we won't talk too much more about this. But just one more thing: we're recording this Wednesday before we get the first injury report. That could lend some light as to maybe somebody else is banged up, and I don't want to say it's one of the quarterbacks, but maybe that's why you needed Haener. I don't know. There's a lot of different possibilities, right? Anything could happen.
Yeah, the one area that I thought in their initial 53-man roster that I didn't necessarily expect them to keep was 6 corners, but Alontae Taylor's hurt still, and so if Alontae Taylor can't go, then maybe they want Rajon Wright active. He's kind of a borderline guy to me that if there is some roster flexibility in the future, all right, do you need 6 corners? Can you go 5? That to me is where the math
Yeah.
That would be the other spot I think that they would have cut if they had to make another move, but they chose corner over 5 safeties.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of JT Gray, the Saints named their team captains on Tuesday also, and obviously Gray was not one of them. You have the names on the screen there. It's 3 on offense, Kamara, McCoy, and Brandon Cooks. 3 on defense, Damari Davis, Cam Jordan, and
Reed.
Blanking.
Justin Reed.
Justin Reed, thank you. And then Blake Grupe and Zach Wood on special teams. Any surprises here for you guys, Rod?
I don't know if it's a surprise, but I was trying to guess the captains in our little group text, and I had Juwan Johnson as one of the ones on offense, and I didn't consider Brandon Cooks, but I do understand why they, made him one. He's a guy that's been around a long time, so I was okay with. I think they picked a good group of 8 guys. So.
You guys?
Yeah, I was just happy to see Grupe get some love. This is his 3rd season as a Saints kicker now, and he's such an interesting character. Because he totally leans into the fact that he does not look like he belongs on a football an NFL football team. But like, I do think that he has like a lot of confidence, you know, and especially for that group, that special teams group. I mean, he's a leader on there, and they are going to count on him this year. As much as you don't want to be counting on your kicker, like he is like a legitimate weapon for him. We saw him have just an excellent training camp, really good in the preseason. And, you know, he's one of those kind of self-assured guys that, it's cool to see him get a captain nod. Cool to see like a 5'7", 150-pound guy get a captain nod.
Remember his first game when they didn't even let him in because they didn't think he was a player?
Yeah.
Now he's a team captain. It's pretty cool.
Does he get a capital C or just like a small?
See in one
The little C. I will say my fantasy football draft is tonight, and my final pick will be Blake Griffin.
Unless somebody beats you to the punch. Somebody might beat you to the punch.
Maybe so.
101.
I think people are like Saints kicker. Nah, I'll pass. But I'm taking Blake Griffin. Matt?
So there have been 8 teams that haven't named captains yet. I was like looking that up while you guys were talking. And I guess it's not a surprise in the sense that he's still relatively young. And we've talked about it a million times how this position is unsettled. But I'm a little surprised that Spencer Rattler didn't get the nod. He's the only quarterback of the other 23 teams that have announced captains that wasn't named a captain. Every other quarterback made it of the teams that announced captains. And I don't think that's a reflection of Rattler at all. I actually think guys respect him and he has that voice to carry. I just think it's kind of the lack of accomplishments that he has so far that's why you don't get the thing. But that's a position I wonder, like, if it's week 5 and he's doing a good job, do they give him the captain, like, label midway through the season, kind of like last year we saw with Alvin Kamara when Darren Rizzi took over. And so I think there's an opportunity for him to kind of seize that role, but I was still a little surprised that he wasn't among those initial 6 or 9 or
You don't
whatever.
have the teams that haven't picked a captain. You know who they are? I just wonder, like, how many quarterbacks would it be?
Yeah, so look at this is per Fox Sports. The 49ers and the Broncos still haven't yet to do it. The Buccaneers, the Chiefs don't do it only for the regular season. The Commanders did it weekly last season, but Mahomes, Jaden Daniels, like those would be
Bo Nix.
Everybody
Mayfield,
you said-
yeah,
everybody
Brock
you
Purdy,
say is going
all
to
those
be.
guys.
The
Yeah.
Packers, Jordan Love would probably be there. The Ravens rotate captains weekly, but if they did all season, I would have,
Lamar would be one.
The Seahawks, probably Sam Darnold. They traded for him. They do it on a weekly basis, and the Texans haven't been announced yet either.
So
But
he'll
all
be
those guys were
out
the
of the
quarterbacks.
Well,
That's-
and you got to remember too, this is an honor voted for by the team
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
So like, I think this is a Saints team that is, even though it's younger this year, it does have a big amount of veteran presence. I think you could make an argument like, Spencer Rattler, Brandon Cooks. Yeah, Brandon Cooks is his first year on the team, but I think everything we've heard about him from his teammates is he's been a super valuable resource for him. I think it all makes sense.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I also wonder if it's a sign that the guys don't expect Spencer to be the starter all year.
I don't know.
Maybe
It might be reading too much.
Maybe so.
There might be some of that. They're never going to tell you that.
No, but they may not even consciously think that. But
Yeah,
subconsciously, you're like, well, this would be awkward if Tyler's the starter and Spencer's still the
Right.
captain, and I don't know. Okay, we'll move on from that, and we're going to get into what the bulk of today's show is, and that is a fun topic. These are our Saints over-unders. But before we get into that, I do want to let you know that Saints Insider is sponsored by Bank Plus. From small business to big business, home loans to bank anywhere technology, Bank Plus is here for New Orleans. New deposit customers can reach out today to learn about incredible rate specials. Learn more at bankplus.net. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Okay, Saints over-unders. Kind of fun. We got a few on offense, few on defense, few on special teams, just like the captains. Starting with the quarterbacks, and I struggle with this one. You guys had to help me come up with a new one because at first I said over-under 2.5 quarterbacks start a game. Probably under. I mean, I don't think anybody expects it to be 3. You think you'd go over on that?
No, but
I think I would go under.
what was that?
It was for
What?
3 players total. Do you think Henry was gonna get a
with the
start?
Saints starting
Oh,
third
my bad,
player
my
at
bad, my
quarterback.
bad. I
Okay.
thought this was the 3 games thing. My bad.
No.
So
was a spicy take. It
What we
wasn't.
landed on was total passing touchdowns over or under 20.5. So for context, last year the Saints threw for 21 touchdown passes. I believe 15 of those were Derek Carr. 5 for Rattler, 1 for Hayner. So will they get to? I don't think Taysom threw one last year, did he?
No, I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think so. So over or under 20.5, will they match or surpass last year's number or not? Matt, you going over or under?
I'm going to go over, and I think it has more to do with Kellen Moore's tendency to throw the ball. And he likes to do it. And I think that's more the reason. The over for me was like 22. You know, it was not, I don't think it's going to be, blows it out of the water, but 20.5 feels a little low, even though it was, it was 21 last year.
21 last year.
The ones last year, how many were in the first 2 games?
I don't know.
I mean, they ran the crap out of the ball those
Right.
first 2 games, so I think it was
But,
only like 4.
Okay.
Could be wrong.
Maybe 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still like
I'm
a fourth of.
I'm going to go under. Because I do think the quarterbacks are going to struggle this year. I do think the team generally is going to struggle to score points. And I also think that we've seen what Kellen Moore is prioritizing during this preseason with Alvin Kamara getting 1 touch. Like, he wants that guy ready to go for the regular season. So I think the Saints are going to try to get through this year kind of muddying it up, playing good defense, leaning on the strength of their offensive line, and probably their best overall player on offense, and Alvin Kamara, with a healthy dose of Kentre Miller put in there. So I think this is going to be more of a run-heavy offense, maybe not as dramatic as it was with Philly last year. You obviously had just like a special offensive line, a special running back. But like, yeah, I'm going to guess probably like 18 or 19 passing touchdowns for the Saints this year with a really heavy dose of the run game.
Yeah, I'm with you, Luke. I'm way under on this. I think if you extrapolate what Rattler did in his 6.5 games last year over a full season, he's at like 13 touchdown passes or something. Now he's going to get more than that, I think. But you also look at the preseason; they were throwing the ball all over the place to evaluate these quarterbacks, and yet they were facing backups. They still only threw for 2 touchdown passes in 3 games. So I don't think we even get close to 20.
Yeah, I'm gonna go under. I looked at the first 2 games last year. It was 5, so that's
almost a quarter.
that's
of
a
what
quarter what they got last year. So yeah, I'm gonna go under. I think the quarterbacks are gonna probably struggle. Again, I mean, I talked about how good I thought the line was going to be, and I still have questions about them now. So if they're not good, I think it just makes everything even more difficult than last year. So I'm gonna go under on that one.
So for reference sake, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 18. The full quarter of the league last year would have thrown for under that line, 20.5. New York Giants finished with 15 touchdown passes last year. And they had veterans playing the position for the most part. I mean, it was Daniel Jones and it was Drew Lock. I guess a little bit of Tommy DeVito. So I think that's going to be a hard number for them to reach. Just even though I really do like their pass catching options, especially with Devon Bailey there. I think they have 3 pretty good wide receivers. I think they have a pretty good pass catching tight end. We know what Alvin Kamara can do as a pass catcher. It's just that the quarterbacks scare me off on that.
I think I might go under like 15.5, honestly. I think it's way under. But we shall see. Next one is a little bit related to this, kind of what you were saying, Luke. I'll start on this side of the room. Alvin Kamara, over or under, basically, will he have an 1,100-yard season? Over, under 1099.5 yards from scrimmage, includes rushing and receiving. He's never actually gone under this in his entire career. His lowest was 2023. He was at 1,160. So if he stays healthy, you think this number's probably too low, especially if they're going to use it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going over on that one. I think he's going to be a really big part of this offense. I mean, he always is, but I just think this year they're going to really have to utilize him, especially if the line's breaking down and a lot of check downs. I just think he's going to have a good year.
I think he's going to get a lot of usage. Luke, you going over on this?
I am definitely going over on this. Okay, he's played 8 years in the NFL. He's average per season 1442.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'd probably take over if it was like 1,300. Honestly, I think he's going to be heavily featured within this offense. Not like necessarily like the 20-25 touch guy he's been the last couple of years. But I do think they're going to pick and choose their spots with him to try to get more of that explosiveness out of him. kind of a little bit more like we saw him use in his first couple seasons here. So I just think that like he's going to be so important to what they do. And look, he's averaged that. I don't think Alvin's ever played a full season. Like a 16 or
No, you're
17
right.
games.
He played 16 games as a rookie, but he didn't play much.
Right,
early
16,
in
and that
season.
was maybe his like lowest touch. Yeah, 201 touches as a rookie. You can pretty much bank on him to miss 2-3 games in a season. It's just a tough position to play, and he's not the biggest guy, but like I still think he's got it. I mean, he went over 1,600 yards from scrimmage last year. He's still a good player.
Man.
I'm thinking we're going to go over, and I think I would go over 1,000 rushing yards too. I know that wasn't the.
That's never happened.
I think
man.
he's breaking it for the first time. My only worry with that is I think the Saints are going to be behind in a lot of games, so I don't know if he'll have the opportunities to run it as much. But like Clint Kubiak definitely was like, I'm going to feed Alvin Kamara everything. But we saw Kellen Moore do it with Saquon Barkley last year, and I know Kamara has said that like he likes to have that compliment. I think they'll get Kendra Miller involved, but when push comes to shove, just give Alvin Kamara the ball. Can't go wrong with that.
I think that belongs on last week's show. That's a bold take. That'd be the first time in his career.
He would have done it last year.
He would have done it last
He would have done
year.
it last year.
Over or under 4 yards a carry for Alvin Kamara?
Over.
Last year 4.2, year before 3.9.
Yeah, I was just looking that up. He's only averaged 5+ twice in his career. He's not necessarily the big play threat that he was like his rookie year anymore, but I think I'm going to go over on 4. Even though we didn't really see a lot out of their running game in the preseason, I do think that I like their offensive line to create holes. I like the scheme they're implementing this year. It is like literally built to hunt out explosives in the run game. So I think over 4 yards a carry, I feel pretty good about that. And we'll see. I mean, if the quarterbacks are awful, it's going to make it hard for that run game to really get going. The quarterbacks are going to need to help him out a little bit, but I do think that 4 is reasonable for him.
Yeah,
I would go right around 4. I would go under 4.2, but I'd go over 4.
He was 4.2 going back years, 3.9, 4.0, 3.7, and back in 2020 he's 5.0. So it's kind of been right around that mark.
Yeah, I'm going to go over to it. I think we're going to see some different looks from Alvin, some wildcat. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that, but I think we'll see some.
Second time on this program we've violated the rules.
Yeah, we'll
PR,
see.
hello.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think we're saying anything crazy by saying they're going to get Alvin Kamara touches in different ways.
Yeah.
So, okay, last one on offense, and then we will take a break. Players who reach 500 receiving yards, over or under, what did I say, 3.5? 3.5. Last year was only 2, and it wasn't the 2 you'd expect. It was Alvin Kamara and Juwan Johnson were the only 2 to get over 500 yards. So do they get to 4, Matt?
Do they get to 4 of them?
Over or under
3.5 is the over.
No, I would go under.
So you're saying 3 probably?
Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and
The guy who's going to lead the team
Juwan
in
Johnson, I
receptions.
guess.
Yeah. Devon Vele. Luke?
Yeah, I'm going to go over. I don't think they're going to be this crazy prolific passing attack, but I do think that they've got a lot of people who can catch the ball. And I do actually by no science-based reason feel like we're going to see healthy seasons out of their pass catchers. Maybe not all of them. Chris Olave is the one I'm really worried about because you just never know with the concussions. But prior to that knee injury last year, Shaheed stayed healthy throughout his NFL career. Vele, I feel good about. Juwan has been a pretty reliably healthy guy, and Alvin. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't even know his career. I could look him up, but I would bet he's been over 60 catches every year of his career. I know the first 3 years, maybe 4 years of his career, he was over 80. So I think they're going to lean back into that aspect of his game. I would expect 4 guys to go over 500 this year.
I think the only way that you could comfortably say under here is if there were more injuries. Like last year was a little bit of a freak occurrence that neither Rashid nor Olave got there. And then you kind of, I mean, honestly, I don't think anybody even hit 600. Juwan and Alvin were both between 500 and 600. So it was really kind of spread out. I don't know. I mean, if I made the number 4.5, I'd probably go under, but I'll go over 3.5.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going over, and I'm going to go over with 4. It'll be the 3 receivers and Juwan or Alvin
When you say 3, you Cooks or Vele?
Bailey.
Okay.
So,
Your
you know it's
boy,
Vele,
your boy
'cause
Vele, yeah.
I said Vele's going to lead the team in reception, so
He's
gonna
not going to have
every
80,
yard.
80 catches for 450 yards, something like that. All right, that is our over-unders on offense. We got a few more for you, but first we're going to take a break on the Saints Insider podcast. We will be back right after this.
Banking has come to a crossroads. Do you want to bank with an actual bank, with actual people? You know, one that you can walk into or drive through, get real help from a real person. Or do you want a bank that lives inside your phone? A digital bank that gives you control of your money anywhere, anytime. Well, why not both? Bank Plus, a partner in your corner, wherever that may be.
Did they ask you to do the commercial too?
Yeah, but they just gave me one line.
Bet like a Caesar. Like, we're gonna sit here and we're gonna tell them how Caesar's Sportsbook is just so easy to use that you can watch and bet thousands of sports events, even some NFL games?
They'll probably show us betting on our favourite players and teams at all the Vegas hotspots too.
Like, we have time for that montage.
I told him I couldn't do it.
They couldn't afford me.
Welcome back to the Saints Insider podcast. Zach Ewing hanging out with Rod, Luke, and Matt and doing some Saints over-unders. Subscribe to the Saints Insider podcast on YouTube and leave a comment, leave a like, and all of that good stuff. We appreciate you. As we start this new season, we're gonna do our full Saints Cardinals preview on Friday, so we're in it. Continuing with our over-unders now. Number of rookies who start at least 5 games. Over or under 3.5.
I'm going under on that one.
So we got Banks
for
is a
sure.
shoe-in, right?
Yeah, I think Shuck probably gets 5 starts in at some point of the season.
Right.
And just one of those defensive guys, I don't know which one, but Sanker or
Broughton,
Stutzman,
Stutzman,
maybe.
one of
yeah.
those guys.
Yeah.
Quincy Riley.
Yeah,
Oh,
those are
Quincy
sort of
Riley
your
would be a good one,
defensive
yeah.
guys. I mean, I think on offense it's Banks and Shuck, right? I mean, I don't see any other rookie.
Okay, so
5
so
stars.
it's 5 games, 3.5 players, right?
Correct.
I'm going to go over just because I think some of their rookies, I don't think they're going to push their way into the starting lineup based on like merit alone, but I do think there's just injuries happen every year. We could see one of Kool-Aid McKinstry or Iguodala miss 2 or 3 games apiece, and then Quincy Riley gets 5 starts for either one of those guys. So
So who's your 4th one, though?
Torrey Sully Simpkins.
No. No, I think we're not counting Kai Kroger, right?
Why not? He's a rookie.
Yeah,
Nah,
I think you got to
But
change.
yeah, but
you
as
got
a-
to change
as
the
a
line.
starter.
we're talking about scrimmage players here.
All right, yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, I'd go over, and I would say it'd be Shuck, Banks, Riley, and I'll just say Stutzman. DeMario has been a remarkably healthy player over the course of his career, but he's 36. He got hurt, Pete Warner's missed time throughout his career. I think if either one of those guys got hurt, I think Stutzman would be the first one up in both of those spots.
Broughton's a weird one because he may play quite a bit, but I don't know if he's actually.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a
starting.
rotational.
Yeah.
He's going to be a rotational guy. I think even if they had an injury at the defensive end position, I think he'd be a rotational guy.
Matt,
It's 3.5.
3.5, not counting specialists.
Yeah, I'll go over just because of injuries. I was tempted to say under, but kind of I think Simpkins could start 5 games if, say Cesar Ruiz went down for a stretch at guard, and Radens is already filling in for Penning. The depth on that O line is not I think you get to Simpkins kind of fast, and so, yeah, we'll see. But
What's the grand total of rookies on this team right now? It's 9?
9, I think.
9 rookies?
Does that count Kroger?
No.
Not counting Kroger. So 9 rookies?
Because it was their
8 of
8
the
draft
9,
class.
yeah.
They didn't keep Diggs, but they kept Simpkins,
Yeah.
so that would be 9.
Yeah. And, even Diggs could potentially come up from the practice squad and start for him if they, worst case happens.
And
on
if they
injuries on
open in 12
defensive end.
personnel and Mataval's out there, that counts as a start.
How many
I'm just saying.
how many 2024 draft picks will they have starting?
Well, Rattler.
Fuanga.
Waga, McKinstry.
Is that it?
Was Jalen Ford a rookie last year?
Yeah, but he
didn't.
won't
Start.
start.
Let's start.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it actually feels like they could possibly have more rookies than second-year guys, interestingly enough. So, okay, moving on to defense. First over-under here, very general. Defensive
15 and a half sacks for Chase Young.
over. Pump it up. Final defensive ranking, total defense, yards per game. Over or under 16 and a half. Quite simply, top half of the league or bottom half of the league.
Under.
Under as in
Better
than 16 and a half, like lower.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Over.
Over. So okay, this is a weird
worse,
one because
yeah, sorry.
ranking.
Yeah.
Worse than average.
Yes, worse than average. I would, if you would have given me like 20, I would predict like 24, somewhere in there.
So if I'd said 20 and a half, you still going over.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is maybe. I was talking during the break about how we should pick. We should go back to last year's predictions, and I don't want to do that actually because I think somebody in this group might have said they would have finished at the top 8 defense last year when they finished 30th, and yet I'm feeling pretty optimistic about this unit. I don't think it's going to be a top half of the league defense, mainly because of my questions on the offense. I think they're just going to be on the field a lot. It's gonna be hard to just maintain that energy for 4 quarters. If you've got a lot of games where you're on the wrong side of the time of possession battle, et cetera. But I do I think their run game's going to be better. I think they're going to bring more pressure this year. I don't think it matters that their back end, their corners in particular, are not as deep as they have been in years past, just because of the scheme they're playing. I think they're going to be a lot better this year. I'd say better than 24th personally, but I think it's more in the 19 to 20 range for me.
The interesting point about that is they were actually 19th in points per game and scoring defense. So, and they were 30th. So, if that red zone defense carries over again,
Yeah, red zone defense, man.
Red zone defense. It's maybe they end up there, somewhere in there.
I think their running defense is going to be a lot better this year, and I think that will kind of have a little bit of a cascading effect for them. They'll get teams into more third and longs. They'll be able to send more pressure packages in those scenarios. I think that's somewhere where Brandon Staley excels. So I'm not expecting them. I don't think they're going to be anywhere close to a top 10 defense this year, but I do think they'll be a lot better than last year.
Under 16th. No specific reason why.
You're just going to go dead middle.
I think I said a bad number, and so I'm just trying to make it interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
Under.
And you don't have any scientific reasoning behind that. You just want to say you want to be a contrarian.
I think that they will be better against the run. I also think that they're going to be trailing in a lot of games, and teams that are ahead play more conservatively. They're going to, you're not going to be giving up 40 and 50-yard bombs in the fourth quarter of these games where you're behind. So that's just automatically going to help. So that's not really optimism, but I'll say 16th.
Can I go under for the first 6 games of the season and then the bottom falls?
Well, I mean, it's where they finish. So.
No, I know it's where they finish. I'm gonna go over, but I think it's just gonna be because I think they're gonna start off really good. And I think as the season wears on, I think it's just gonna get the best of them.
I would go opposite of that because they play
Buffalo.
Buffalo
I know Buffalo.
early.
I thought about the Buffalo game. They'll be
that alone might make them.
But outside of Buffalo, I mean, honestly,
it's manageable.
I don't know. San
schedule's not
Francisco,
bad
Kyle
either.
Shanahan.
San Francisco could get you.
Schemes up.
Tampa Bay obviously has a very good offense.
Kubiak revenge game.
But a lot of their schedule helps too. If we're talking where are they going to finish, are they actually the 16th best defense in the NFL? Maybe not, but they also played, they played the Jets and the Giants.
Well, this isn't DVOA. We're not waiting for opponents here. Let's.
I'm going under, man. I'm going under.
You're going under? All right.
Like 16. I don't know.
The optimistic side of the room here says, let's be average. Okay. I know where you're going on this one, Rod. Team sacks, over or under 39.5. Last 2 years they've had 39 and 34. So they've been under this. Do they get to 40 team sacks?
So I need 25 sacks from.
You need 25 sacks from non-Chase Young contenders.
No,
I'm going to laugh so hard if Chase Young gets to 15.5.
I'm going under on that one, man. That's. What? How many last year?
They had 34. 39 last year, 34 the year before. So they almost got there last year.
Okay, no, I'm gonna go over there. I do think they'll be better as a pass rushing team this year. So I'm going over on that for sure.
I'm going over. I really like. I am definitely buying into the Chase Young this year. Not to Rod's degree from last year, but I do think that. Look, he's still a very young player. He's 26. He's finally healthy and had a fully healthy offseason, and like he looks very, very comfortable in this scheme. I think that is gonna like. I would not be surprised if he has double-digit sacks for the first time in his career. I think Alontae Taylor is going to be a huge part of their pressure package. I think Demario Davis is still a very, very good blitzer. I think they're going to use him a lot. And then, look, you're getting Brian Brzee, I think, in more advantageous pass rushing situations. He had, 8 sacks last year?
7.5.
7.5. I think, Carl Granderson, I think you can count on him for 5, 6, 7 sacks. I think they'll go over 40. I think it'll be mid-40s.
You didn't even mention the team's all-time leading sack leader, man.
Cam Jordan is their third pass rusher.
I don't
know how much
he's
he's
enough
gonna see
opportunities to rush the passer though.
Yeah.
I'm saying under.
No, I think their run defense is going to be good. I think it's going to be putting them into obvious pass rush situations.
All right, Matt.
Where did 39 sacks rank last year? Do you know?
I don't believe I have that up in front of me. They were in the 20s, I think.
Yeah, I'll go over, but I'll go over with the caveat that they don't have a double-digit sack leader.
So it's just spread out.
It's just spread out. I like the Demario Davis having a few. I like that. Alontae Taylor, I agree that he apparently holds the most sacks for a guy in a number 1 jersey all time. I saw that the other day.
Really?
Well, I mean, it's only been it's only been a couple of years defensive plays for
because it's someone.
Pat Surtain's the greatest defensive back ever to wear.
Micah Parsons is wearing one now, and so Josh Dubno of.
Taylor's gonna have to keep Parsons at bay. That's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty fair number, but I'm gonna go.
It was 20th last year, by the way.
20th.
Okay. Rod found it before I did.
All three of us picked up our
I'll
phones
go
when Matt
over.
asked that question.
I'll go over barely.
All right, last two are on special teams. No, these aren't the last two actually, but 2 on special teams. Over or under 0.5 return touchdowns. And I'm just talking kickoff and punt, not interception or fumble. Will they have a return touchdown in 2025?
I'm going to say no.
I'm also going to say no.
I don't, yeah.
I think they'll do it. They still have Rashid Shaheed on the roster, and even if they don't use him, I think he's still going to do some returning for them in the punt return game. So, I mean, as long as he's there and available, I'm going to take them to have a return touchdown. So I think he's had one every year of his career.
Yeah, that's true. He had one against Tampa last year, against Green Bay the year before. I can't remember the year.
Didn't have
before
one
that.
against Seattle one year. No, that wasn't him. Who was that?
His rookie year,
No,
I think he
that
had.
was Devontae.
I think he had a punt return touchdown his rookie year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean,
It's not. I mean, look, Darren Rizzi's not coordinating the special teams anymore. I think that's a big loss. I think he's part of that. They've had good returners every year under Darren Rizzi, but I like Shaheed is so dynamic that I would say at least one.
there will also be more opportunities to return kickoffs, you would think.
Yeah.
Now that a touchback is the 35, so that plays into it too, Matt.
I'll go over with 1, but Velus Jones.
Ooh, all right, I like it.
Because he's the fastest
He's
guy.
got some, according to Velus Jones. Yeah.
Source, Velus Jones. Okay, last one on special teams. Over or under Blake Grupe missed field goals? 2.5. I'm setting the standard high.
I'm going to go over because I think he's going to kick a ton of field goals this year. You're going to have a lot of drives bogged down, within scoring range. Plus, with the new kickoff rules being what they are, I think field position, you're just going to be in scoring range a lot more. So I think he's going to have a ton of opportunities to make kicks this year and miss them. So over 2.5, but still like above an 85% field goal percentage.
All right, Matt?
Yeah, I'll go over. Same thing, and but I think all his kicks that he will miss will be above 50.
I was going to say, if we limit this to 55 or shorter, would you still go over?
Yes.
Okay. He'll miss a few between 50
No,
and
I don't think so.
55.
I think I would go under.
All right.
But that's only for the 55.
Look, it's not
I think,
fair,
I
like-
think he's really, really, really good. I think he's going to have a lot of chances to miss kicks this year. And even really, really good kickers miss kicks. Like, it's just true. Like, nobody goes the season like.
Yeah, I may not have thought this line through all that carefully either.
That's all right.
I think Groupie's really good.
It's an interesting conversation to have.
Rod?
I got Groupie in the Pro Bowl, so I'm going under on this one.
All right. Like 28 out of 30 at the end of the year, something like that.
It might be 38 out of 40. But
What's the NFL record for field goals in this season?
if his leg doesn't get tired, he'll be fine. But
Out with a bruised quad in week 17. Here
They'll
comes
just have
Charlie
to
Smith.
rest in week 18.
Yeah.
Keep him on ice.
All right. Last one we got. Oh, no, not. I'm sorry. We have two more. I've made a lot of these. Saints, you said Group is going to make a Pro Bowl, so I'm going to start with you. Over or under Saints Pro Bowlers, 1.5?
over
2? You giving them 2?
2. You know the other one's going to be.
Chase Young.
No, it could be.
Could be McCoy.
It could be McCoy Chase. Yeah, I think they'll go for 2. Yeah, at least 2. Yeah, so over for me.
All right. One of my bold predictions was Groupie was their only one, so I'm going under.
I'm going to go over because I do think they have good individual players on this team. I think Kellen Moore is going to get more out of these guys than we saw the last couple of years. I think they'll be healthier, which will help, even if the team doesn't have the record to show for it. And then on top of that, it's just like we get 55 guys on these Pro Bowl rosters every year with guys bowing out. That's true.
So who are your Pro Bowlers though?
Well, I said Julian Blackmon, and I really love his fit in this defense. Groupie wouldn't be a surprise to me. Shaheed wouldn't be a surprise, especially if he does his normal receiver things and he adds a specialist stuff to it. Again, we'll see how much they actually use him in that role. But I think they could have Chase Young wouldn't be a surprise, even though that's always going to be a loaded thing to try to beat out with edge rushers. I really do think he's primed for a big year.
I'll go under just because I have this team at 4 wins, and 4-team wins don't necessarily have a lot of Pro Bowlers.
Yeah, it's hard to get individual recognition if the team is bad. And that leads us to our final over-under, which is over or under Tyler Shuck, Offensive Rookie of the Year. I'm just kidding. He's getting one. He's going to get one. No, our last one is Saints draft position. Over or under 4.5? Do they pick in the top 4 of next year's draft?
Under.
So you're saying 1, 2, 3, or 4? Yeah.
I'm going to say over. Just because there's a lot of potential. I know they didn't really play that well in week 1, but I think there's a lot of potential quarterbacks in this draft. I think you'll see teams motivated to get one of those quarterbacks. And I don't necessarily think the Saints think that way. And you look at last year, the Panthers would finish with the same record as the Saints, 5-12 last year. And those two teams picked 8th and 9th in the draft. I think to get a top 4 pick, you have to be in next year's draft, 3 wins, something like that. And I have a hard time seeing
Will this hit if they trade up?
No, this is what they. I think this is where
their draft.
Yeah, where what they earn.
I'm not changing it, but I would.
I still think top 10 pick, yes, but top 4, I think. I think they're going to be a feisty team this year, even if they're not a good team. I think that's going to be enough to get them enough wins.
Just because I don't think we've actually said it on the show, what record predictions are you guys at?
4-13.
I had 6-11.
Okay, I had 5-12. I don't think that's top 4, so I'm going over. I think there's going to be quite a few bad teams, and I think they're 5th or 6th.
I had them 4-13, and I think that will be like the 4th pick. I don't think it'll be a top 3, but I think it'll probably be in the 4th spot.
Sports Illustrated had them 2-15. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's become kind of a joke at this point. It's
how low can you go?
Yeah, it's some of these. I was even listening to I listen to a lot of NFL content and just listening to Saints season previews, and it's I think they're just at this point where nobody's even really paying attention to what's going on this year with the Saints team. They're just oh well, they have Spencer Rattler, a quarterback. They're going to suck. And I'm not out here trying to sell anybody on the Saints are going to be this great surprise team this year. I think they're going to struggle, but I do think that they've got enough stuff going right on this team. I feel good about the future, but I also feel a little bit better about this year than some of the national viewpoints on this team saying they're going to be just trash garbage.
I think we'll have a really, really good indication the first game. I think we'll kind of know
Maybe even halftime of the first game, honestly.
Overreaction season. Let's go. Let's do it.
If you would like to read why national people,
Oh, man. How did I not plug that? Go ahead, Matt.
if you would like to read why national people are so low on this team, you can do so on NOLA.com. I interviewed a handful of them, and why they thought it had a lot to do with the quarterbacks. But I also broke down the offensive line, the defense, and other categories.
Yeah, good plug. And just to expand on that, we have all of our season preview content rolling out this week. So something new every day on NOLA.com/Saints to preview the 2025 Saints season. That brings us to the teams that will not be in the mix for the number 1 draft pick, the teams that we expect to be playing in the Bay Area in Super Bowl 60 in February. Super Bowl picks. Jeff Duncan is not here. He gave me a Super Bowl pick. He picked the Baltimore Ravens to beat the Detroit Lions in Super Bowl 60. Rod, what you got?
I wanted to change my Baltimore pick when Jeff picked Baltimore, but I had Baltimore beating the Eagles in the Super Bowl, and I think it's the exact same Super Bowl I had last year. And
You were close.
yeah, and the Eagles will be like the first team since I guess the Seahawks in the NFC to go to Super Bowl 2 years in a row. But I think they'll lose this time.
If you could change it, what would you have changed it to?
I wouldn't. Probably Buffalo.
Okay.
And Green Bay would have been my other team in the NFC.
As the host and the person who puts together the graphics, I did get to change mine because I also picked Baltimore, and I didn't want to do that. So I am going to go out on a limb, and that limb is Matthew Stafford's back, and I'm going to say the LA Rams win the Super Bowl if Stafford can stay healthy. I mean, which team gave the Eagles their toughest test in the playoffs last year? So Rams easily.
Yeah. And Stafford has just basically not had a training camp. I mean,
They'll start slow.
You got Rams against who?
I'll take the Rams over the Bills in the Super Bowl. Luke?
all right. Well, first of all, I want to say that it's truly disappointing that Mike McCarthy is no longer in Dallas, so Jeff can bet us all that they're going to win the Super Bowl and we get the free Clancy's dinner out of it. So I'm really sorry to hear that. Sorry for your loss, Mike, and sorry for our loss. I went the Buffalo Bills to beat the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl. I think it's really, really hard to repeat as champions. I mean, the Chiefs obviously did it, but as like awesome as the Eagles were last year, they are replacing their offensive coordinator, who is here now in New Orleans, and I mean, they leaned so hard on Saquon last year. It's like really, really hard for running backs to duplicate that. He had like, I think it was over 400 touches when you include the playoffs in that. I think they're going to have to win different ways. And like the Packers adding Micah Parsons late, like that's like a superstar that you add to an already good team. I like them to come out of the NFC, and Buffalo, like this just feels like the year they finally crack through. And I'm probably just going to want to eat my words when the Chiefs are back in the Super Bowl again next year. Did anybody pick the Chiefs?
No, nobody picked the Chiefs
I
or the
almost
Eagles.
did, but I didn't.
Rod had the Eagles in it, but nobody else even had them in it. So that we're nothing if not boring. Speaking of coaches that Jeff Duncan likes, Matt, what's your Super Bowl pick?
Well, I know people might expect me to pick the Washington Commanders. I did not do that.
Oh, sad bell.
I went, this was specifically for Jeff Duncan. Denver Broncos out of the AFC, Detroit Lions out of the NFC. Give me the Peyton Bowl. And I had the Broncos winning. Do I feel great about that? No, I do not. But I just wanted to go out on a limb. Sometimes just like all these events happen where it's your year, and they have a really great defense. I think they're stacked there. Bo Nix, I think, continues to make improvements. I'm a little worried about their skill position players. Like, I really like Courtland Sutton, but
So does Kool-Aid McKinstry.
yes. Wow. Pat Bryant, we'll see if he's the next Michael Thomas, but I'll just pump the brakes on that. And but hey, I think they're just stacked in the trenches.
I would love that Super Bowl, man. Those
this
are
is
two
a
good
really
fan
good-
bases.
yeah.
Great offense against great defense.
That and the
That'd be
Broncos
interesting.
or the Nuggets won in 23, the Avs won in 22. The Rockies aren't going to win anything ever, so got to get the Broncos
point.
back in there.
Hey, can we do our quick NFC South? Who's gonna win it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Atlanta.
Yeah, no,
It's Tampa.
you had to get your Michael Penix take
All
off.
Tampa Bay. Top 10 quarterback Baker Mayfield, out of nowhere.
Like, I've like been crapping on Tampa for like 5 years, and they always just make me look dumb. And I never thought they were that good in the last couple of years, and then like they were legitimately good last year. But they lost their offensive coordinator again. You know, third straight year they're busting in a new offensive coordinator after their guy left to be a head coach. You know, I don't know if I feel great about like what's going on with like Tristan Wirfs, and you know, I think that there's maybe some regression coming with them. So like I think Atlanta's not a bad pick. But I think those are the only two teams I would really consider to be the South champion.
Hasn't Atlanta also lost two offensive? Caleb McGarry.
Yeah, I mean their right
out,
tackle, which just happens to be their quarterback's blindside protector.
Yeah.
You know, Caleb McGarry and former New Orleans Saints legend Storm Norton, both out. That's their two right tackles. So that's going to be like a big, hill for them to climb. But like, Penix looked great in his couple starts last year. If they could get just anything out of that defense, obviously they invested in it in the draft. They might be in it.
Yeah, I like Tampa. I think that's an easy choice.
Almost by default, I just don't see like Atlanta's the only other team you could consider. I'm not a big Raheem Morris guy. I think Michael Penix is still an unknown. Offensive line issues. I don't like the vibes there. I'm going Tampa.
Can I throw a quick over under that for Saints related we didn't do that I'm just like kind of fascinated about?
Yeah, let's end it this way.
I don't even know the number, but 2.5 Cam Jordan starts.
So like he's officially listed
starter.
as the starter.
I kind of feel like they're going to do the bit where they just throw him out there on first down so he can keep his starting streak going.
Yeah, I'm with you. I go over.
Under.
In name only, I don't think he plays nearly starter snaps.
This is only in name.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say over just in name. Yeah.
No, I just don't think I don't think that's.
You think they care
I
about
don't think
that?
that's important to this staff. I think they're gonna, they're putting guys out who are in their spot, and I think Chase and Carl are in those starting spots.
Well, you say that, but it's not listed like that on the depth chart.
That is exactly why I'm bringing this up.
It'll be interesting. I mean, okay, one more NFL related.
And Cam's a captain too, so I didn't.
He is a captain.
He's definitely gonna start in the gold jerseys, right?
Yeah.
He's starting Sunday. I think that's for sure. It's just a matter of does he get two more. Who's your surprise division winner in the NFL? There really wasn't one last year, for the first time in forever. But if you had, I think the Rams were the only team to win their division who were not the preseason favorite last year, which is like astoundingly rare. But they were like the second choice. So is there a surprise division winner, and who is it?
I'll kind of bounce off Matt's take here. I wouldn't be surprised if there's if the Chiefs don't win it for the first time
like Denver.
in forever.
Yeah.
Although I don't know, I just think that division is going to be kind of tough all the way through. The Raiders got a lot better. I think the Chargers, I don't know if they're going to necessarily be a lot better from last year, especially after Rashawn Slater got injured. But they could cause some trouble for some people. So it wouldn't surprise me if Denver won that at 11 wins.
Would Green Bay be considered a surprise?
They're actually the favorite now.
They are the favorite.
Yeah, they weren't until they got Micah Parsons, and it swithed them in Detroit.
I might go with.
You said Atlanta. That would be a little bit of a surprise.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
I'll throw another one out there too.
Go ahead.
I was the Vikings. It's a team that won 14 games last year, and obviously they're breaking in a new quarterback this year. But Kevin O'Connell's such a good coach, and I really do like a lot of the other stuff they have going on. But that division's obviously going to be really tough. I think 4 good teams in that division. That's another one, kind of like the AFC West, where there's a couple teams who wouldn't really necessarily surprise me to win.
Who's favored to win the NFC West?
San Francisco by a slim margin over the Rams.
Just throwing this out there. We'll see how they look Sunday, Arizona.
All right.
Ooh.
That would be a surprise.
And
What was your other one?
I was going to ask about the NFC East. I mean, obviously Philly's the favorite, but who's next? Washington. Or Dallas?
Washington.
Yeah, for sure.
Without even looking at it, you can guarantee it's Washington.
Okay.
My surprise is AFC South. Either Jacksonville or Tennessee wins that division.
Tennessee.
I like that.
Whoa.
Tennessee would be the big surprise. I'm going to say Jacksonville just because I think it's a little more likely that Trevor Lawrence gets his stuff together under Liam Cohen. But I could see, if Cam Ward is good, Tennessee has other pieces in place, and that is not a good division.
This is kind of like your Carolina Panthers.
I actually
pick
think the
last
Colts
year.
Yeah.
might be the worst team in the league, but that's the Colts.
I don't think the Colts are not going to be good, and I think Houston's got a good defense. They have no skill position talent at all. C.J. Stroud is okay.
Nico Collins.
I mean, they have Nico Collins.
And like they have
If you bracket Nico Collins,
two like top two second and third round draft pick and Christian Kirk. That's
see.
pretty good.
We'll see. I don't like Houston at all. So I'm kind of picking against them more than I'm picking anybody. All right, that's our show for today. We will be back on Friday with a Saints Cardinals game preview and picks. And until then, our producer was Norman Bell. He's Rod Walker, Luke Johnson, and Matthew Paris. I'm Zach Ewing. Thank you for watching the Saints Insider.